Alright, we're back over here to our hone here. So, I'm going to go ahead and give a flash hone on these bushings to see what they look like. Okay, this stuff's done drip drying, so we can put it back. Okay, I got this special hone I made here, mandrel. So I took two of them, welded them together to make one big long one, so I can hone rocker arms. Take special stones also. Got to modify the stones so I can use them. Okay, I got 7, 7, 16, and this must be a 16 also. Yep, those are 7s. So I had to cut this all off here to make it like that so it'll fit in the welded up one. I took away the part that holds it in the back. Took me 2 tries to make it. I had to cut it off and throw away one of them. Okay, so now I can hone instead of just one little short stone. I can go all the way across the full surface. You're able to use the whole hone. All right. Oh, not very round. Watch it shatter below. Those are pretty stinking bad. That's what reamers do. Oh, that is custom. Oh, that's why I don't ream. So the hole is now a lot more rounder than it was. It's going to be looser too because I made the hole round. Well, kind of round. A lot of low spots in there still. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and clean these all up. We'll move on to regrinding the tips. Everything I do to new rocker arms. What are you doing, Scooby? You following me? Scooby's following me. Okay, I cleaned these off so you can see what they look like in here. So see the unevenness in the bushing in there? So the yellowish area is the old corroded area, and the nice shiny area is the new stuff I just honed. See, hones do not hide, they show. They highlight all the sins that go on inside of a reamed hole. That's why I don't ream stuff. See how bad the finish is? It's terrible. It's not round, true, or anything. So it gives you a bad fitment. This was really bad. Maybe this is the one that ripped out of my hand. So that's what new bushings look like when they're not honed. See, this side's not too bad. This side sucks. So anyway, you can see how it looks. So we got to see if the customer wants to rebush his new rocker arm, or just put them together the way they are. They'll work. They probably won't make any noise, but you never know. Loose valves, all that ticking noise you get in your valves, a lot of times it's not the valves, it's rocker arms. Bushings are loose. Every time the rocker arm goes up, it shifts sideways, go click, click, click. They make noise. Lots of it. Okay, so now the shaft. These shafts are worn quite a bit also. Oh, those are worn. See all the gall marks in there where their wear marks are pretty heavy. Nice and smooth. Not really. That's going to tear up a new bushing. Okay. Here you can see it. See, I didn't really loosen them up all that much. So I did, I highlighted the bad parts. I didn't really make them a whole hell of a lot looser. Just knocked off the high spots. They loosened up a little bit, but not a lot. So they're going to wear themselves in to these worn out shafts. You know, depending on where you tighten these things up, you know, it's a crapshoot when you tighten these things up where they turn to. So you can't just put it in and wear on this new surface. Ideally, that's what you'd want to do. You'd have it like this here, because the rocker pushes on this side. So you want the new surface to be on the bottom. So when it goes up like that, it's on a new surface. But in the real world, it'll be in half the bad and half the good. And you have a little clearance, so side to side clearance. That's why you can't measure a rocker bush, and it gets worn. They're uneven how they wear. So you get a lot of clicking side to side movement, which will give clicking, see, like that. But up and down, nothing, see, nothing. Side to side, up and down. See, side to side you get noise, up and down you don't. That's why they make noise. So these shafts are pretty worn. I don't know why they replaced everything except the shafts. The shafts are obviously heavily worn. Now I could put my hone on here and hone them a little bit, but the problem is it's not really going to hit there. It's going to hit up here in the high spots because these are low spots. Hones don't do low spots. See, low spots are the dull area, high spots are high area, or the shiny area. See, it doesn't get to a low spot. If you polish it with emery paper, you'll get the low spot a little bit, because that's not a true, it's not a true surface you're doing. You're just making it smoother. You're not making it round or true. That's the difference. All right, so we're going to let the customer decide what he wants to do and all this stuff. These aren't blatantly super bad. That one's pretty rough, but see this one here? See it's smooth? You don't hear my thumb? See it's smooth. This one here is pretty bad. So I think on this one I'm going to replace it no matter what. I'll go find a used one. I have a bunch of this early stuff laying around. I don't want to run this. This is really bad. So it should be a smooth surface like this. It can be worn, but it needs to be smooth like that. When you get that rough to it, that's what's bad about them. So we'll see what he wants to do. So these are yet to be determined what we're going to do on this. So I'm going to leave the grinding until later also, I think. Or do I do it now? Yeah. I think I'll do it later. I got other stuff to do. Alright, that's it for that for now. Cold back there. Got to put my sweater on. I'm not working hot enough for being outside. Okay. Can't get my hands nice and cold and hurt. It'd help. Okay, I got this stuff cleaned up. So hopefully we got all the crap out of the oil galleries here. Looks pretty clean. There's still some either old oil or buffing rouge inside of here. I cleaned it out pretty good. These are going to get cleaned one more time. That's the first cleaning around. All this is going to get cleaned one more time, at least. Nothing goes in this shop without being cleaned at least twice. Nothing does, if not 3 times minimum. So anyway, I don't see anything else in the holes. I blew them out pretty good. Didn't see anything blowing out of the holes, but there's nothing in there now, so that's all I care about. So those are good. So these things here, I clean them up so we can see how rough they are. So that's one for sure we don't like. There's 2 for 2. Oh, gotta get where you can see it. See, pretty rough. This one here was even worse. That's 2 I don't like. That one's okay, just accept wear. Starting to get a little rough right here. Yeah, this one's starting to get rough right there. It's 50% there, so this is marginal but usable. I don't like it, but it's usable. And this one here is rough also. So it looks like this one's marginal on both sides. That's double marginal. These two here I don't like at all. They're really rough. I don't like any of them really. They're all bad. So it needs new shafts. To do it right, it needs new shafts, new bushings. That's what it needs. I want to clean these again by mistake. If in doubt, clean it again. Square basket's attacking me. Alright, so this stuff's all cleaned up now. There's 4 springs, 3 washers, 4 of those. Oh, 4 washers. There we go. I'm getting measles. Starting to warm up a little bit around here. My hands get red from the cleaning agent after a while. After you've been in there for a half hour, it starts affecting your hands. Alright, so like I said, I don't like much of this stuff. Okay, customer will tell me what he wants to do. We got the push rod issue to deal with, and we have definitely rocker box issues. Okay, so I jump around a lot on my jobs here. I tend to do a lot of dirty stuff first, and then I work my way to more cleaner stuff. I don't want to assemble the crank right now because the pinion shaft, which is brand new, is right here. I have to fit up new bushings in the cam cover and check the bearings and other stuff, so that's got to get done. You got to do all your machining before you start assembling. So we have more work to do. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put new valve guides in here because I hate these things. And the customer said, do what you want. Oh, that means I'm going to fix it. So there you go. Decided to give me something to beat on with a hammer. Warms me up. Give me a chance to scratch this fancy silver paint I don't like. He's going to be shocked when I paint this black. Let's see, I need some valve guide punches. There goes Scooby. Scooby's wandering. Alright, valve guide punches. Don't go, dumbass. A lot of dumbasses around here. Okay, so we have 3 different ones we use. Well, more than that now, but 3 main ones. So we got 3/8 for big twins and side valve. And then we have the other stuff. 5/16 to 11/32. So the small one goes on the intake, big one goes on the exhaust. So you just beat these out with a hammer. And if you go on a piece of wood, it doesn't damage your surfaces. If you overhang it past the edge of the board, the head is supported, it doesn't hit the guide. Alright, so those were newer guides. I'm not sure how new they are. Do the exhaust, that's the bigger one. Well, that one had the valve seal on it still. Still got the collar. Here's the missing collar. So anyway, I only had 3 of those. I'm missing a couple keepers too. Oop, am I supposed to say I'm missing parts? Yeah. They'll turn up. Alright, valve shim I'm probably not going to use. Okay, now I got the guides out of the way. I can do some porting without the valve guides being in the way. I don't rarely do it like this, but in this case I know what I want to do, so I'll do it that way. Makes it a lot easier when the valve guide's not in the way. But you got to be careful not to screw up the valve guide hole, because the burr will go right inside the valve guide hole and screw it up real quick too. When the valve guide's in the hole, it doesn't screw up the hole, it screws up the guide. That's okay. Let's see. Poked me when it came out. I didn't time it correctly. Ooh, a tight one. All right. Ah, damn. That hit me hard. Yeah. There's the stock collar I was using. Well, that hurt when I hit my finger. It was hitting on the... I didn't give it clearance to clear a collar, so it was nailing the collar. Took the corner of the board off, see? Ah, that hurt. That hurt me twice. Ah. Ooh, it's got fungi on it. It's got Scooby hair on it. Alright, there we got Scooby hair kind of off. Okay, so the valve guides are going to go in the junk box for the customer to use later. And this is my collar. So these are the new collars I bought for them. Eastern from Taiwan Teddy. Now Eastern, we don't know where they make their stuff from. It's supposed to be US, but that was years ago. They probably still do though. Just because it's US made doesn't mean it's made right though. Okay, so there's what a stock collar looks like. There's what it looks like after I trim it for seals. So I'm either going to use this one here, or I'm going to use my Manly one, which gives me more valve travel because they're thinner. So we'll get into that later when we get to the head part, but just so you know, we have other options. So we're going to keep my Harley one for me though. Probably got 50 heads laying around, at least 50 sets of heads probably, and I only got 10 sets of collars, if that. Okay, so the guides are out now. My finger's recovering. Yep. Okay, so these are ready to be played with. So there's what the casting looks like beforehand. All kinds of crap in the way I don't like. So I think we're going back and make a little noise. That hurts still. I got wood chips everywhere. How'd that happen? Oh well. Okay, we'll be back in a minute.